What's going on, YouTube? I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. In today's next installment of Path to Prime, I will be showing you guys how I go from this to this full prime Allosaurus. We are playing on Petite Pied's NA server. I hope I said it right for you guys, but I don't think I did. We started this grow out in South Plains. We spawned down south near the coast, and then we immediately made our way all the way north to the sanctuary that is just west of Mudflats. This is a great sanctuary to go through as a small carnivore, especially as an Allosaurus, because this sanctuary is pretty out of the way, so not a lot of things come here. But we did get pretty lucky. We found a small Dibble hiding in this bush trying to heal, and I think he was AFK because it took him a second to come back, and by the time he did, it was too late. Getting this Dibble down early was huge for our growth. Not only did it allow us to get the perfect diet for the prime task, but it gave us enough food to sit here and grow. We also found a couple other corpses around the sanctuary, and we found a spot of gastros. So this is ideally the perfect scenario to start a grow. And so I did what a lot of you guys have said, and I made myself throw up. That way I could lower my hunger and refill it, getting a better diet. And once you're over 100 kilos, around the 150, 180 range, this is when you will really start to hit your growth. You will go from 100 to 1,000 in the span of about 30 to 45 minutes. As you can see here, I started eating on this corpse and I took a huge hunger drop. That's how you know you're in this phase. When you get these big drops, that means you're adding on the weight quick. So it's very important to stay around food. Hence, why we stayed in this sanctuary area for so long. As you can see, my water is getting pretty low. Luckily for us though, there's a small puddle just outside the sanctuary to the west. That's where we would go and fill up all our water. And actually, that's where my partners had already headed off to, while I stayed here and healed off the vomit sickness and filled my hunger back up. But either way, you can do this however you please, and you are not required to stay in the sanctuary this long like we did. We just had an abundance of food and couldn't pass it up. After everyone had filled up, we headed east and came out right next to the mudflats. We thought about going around to West Rail and going ahead to hit our zones, but being in our huge growth spurt, our ticks would take our hunger down really fast. So we opted to move over to the South Plains area, right next to the lagoon under the river, and that's where we found this big raptor. This guy would fill basically all of our hungers all the way back up. A great kill and meal for a growing Allosaurus. And this raptor is one of the reasons why we don't start out at the South Plains Sanctuary. Raptors like this guy love to camp this area and slaughter all the younglings. But before we could finish that raptor, we got into a fight with a Dilo, and he got quite a few hits on our buddy Shadow. And he was poisoned, so he was trying to escape the clones in the water, but to no avail. Sadly, we would lose Shadow. And as we were watching helplessly, not able to do anything, the Rex chased the Dilo back towards us. And I thought honestly I could get a cheeky little pin on the Dilo, but he juked me. He saw it coming, and he got several bites on me, poisoning me as well. Luckily for me though, the poison didn't take because it's currently bugged. It's about 50-50 whether or not it actually works, and thankfully, unlucky for him, it didn't work in this case. So I took cover in this bush and I healed the poison off. After that, Seawick and I made our way over to Mudflats to continue our journey. And as we were coming up on a corpse to eat, we came across the same Dilo. He was none too happy that we were back. He did not want us to take his food. And after several minutes of just running around and messing with us and going in and out, trying to get some bites, he finally made a mistake. He came too close to me. Even though I missed my pin and he was able to get a couple bites on me, I got several bites on him, and then this time I actually led my pin appropriately and I got him down. Just in time for Seawick to return and come off his rock and help me finish him off. This food would help us continue our journey. And that meal would get us to 50%. our second mutation. I didn't really know which mutation to take second. I spent quite a bit of time contemplating. Enhanced digestion is great because it keeps your diets up longer, thus helping you grow faster. But in Allo, you feel like well, at least I feel like I'm doing quite a bit of fighting. So I went with congenital, that way I take less damage. We then made our way up into the west rail area. Here, we could get a couple MZs and PZs, and there's a little convenient drinking spot not far from here. We took a right at this big rock, and that will lead you to Pygmy's Puddle. Pygmy's Puddle is a very good spot to drink. As you can see, there's no dinos here, but you have to be careful as this is a very popular Rex ambush spot, so you gotta keep an eye out on the bushes and maybe do some scouting first. After filling up on our water, we headed to Highlands. We were hoping that maybe at this point we could find some things to hunt. And at first, we didn't really find too much, just some bodies to scavenge off of. But hey, as you can see, my diets are really bad, so beggars can't be choosers. I will take any diets I can get, especially on the Allosaurus. There's not a ton of stuff that you can hunt and kill that's on your diet. It's one of the harder dinos to get a really high diet on and speed through the grow. And since Seawick took pretty much that entire corpse, I got lucky and we found another little corpse up here. It would have been really nice to have a nice big feast on that trike, but sadly it was rotten, so we couldn't touch it. This little Dibble though gave me at least a little bit of diet, that way we could make it on to our next hunt where we wouldn't have to worry about food for a long time. We made our way to the north side of Highland Lake, and that's where we found these Dibbles up on a rock. They had just got done fighting a pack of Omnis. We tried to get a few of the Omnis, but between the Dibbles and the rest running, we could only clean up the leftovers, and that was fine with me. Food is food. I wasn't really too keen on trying to go up onto those rocks and fight the Dibbles, but my buddy Seawick, he had other plans. Because after not too long, Seawick, well, he wanted to fight him. So he went up there, and this guy immediately came down for the attack. With it being a 1v2 since the other guy was healing, we were able to get in some pounces on him and get his bleed going. And then his buddy came down to fight, and I think he took some fall damage right there sliding down the cliff. I'm not sure, or he could have just been low, but enjoy the fight. These Dibbles would fill both of us all the way up and allow us to sit here and grow for a decent amount of time until these corpses rotted. And like I talked about on Rex, using bodies is a great way to bait other carnivores in. This carno thought he could take a quick bite of my Dibble, and he was dead wrong, and he paid the price, costing him his life and giving me a few more organs to get those diets higher, which as you can see, I've been struggling with. The next day, I met up with my boy Riley, and we found this Stego at water access taking a drink, not really paying any attention to us. At first, we thought this guy might be too big, but after sizing him up, realized that we could probably pin him. So Riley went in first and got on his side, and then I followed up and got on the other side. And sure enough, we could pin him. And what was crazy is that jump right there cut out 40 seconds of having us pinned. It took us so long to kill this guy. I'm not a huge fan of the Allo's pin mechanic, and I think it could definitely survive without it. But hey, if it's in the game, I'm going to use it. I hope the devs either come out with a different mechanic for Allo or remove it in its entirety. Allo is very strong as it is, and having a pin just makes it a little too strong. But hey, it is what it is. We would stay here and grow in safety, feasting on this Stego. And, as perfect timing, I just had crossed the 2-ton mark, so we were well on our way to hitting that prime status. We then crossed the lake and set up a little ambush. I acted like I was chasing this Packy, and then I switched to the Carno, and he immediately ran, but he didn't know that Riley was waiting behind the trees. And as soon as an Allo is on your side as a Carno, it's pretty much game over. There's no way you can get him off, and once I get pinned on, oh, he's going down just like all those before him. And I'll be honest, I don't really feel that bad doing it to a Carno. Carnos are just very annoying to deal with as other carnivores because they just run around and kill you as a baby. Can't tell you how many times I've been ran down in Rex. I don't know how we didn't get that Packy. We both missed. And then we heard some Stegos talking in the jungle, so we went right on the attack. So I hope you guys enjoy this nice Stego versus Allo 2v2. After we got both of these guys down, it would be to a bush and to sit and heal for the next half hour. Once we'd healed up, we made our way back to Highlands, and this is where our map traveling had kind of came to an end. We had came back to Highlands to meet up with our buddy Seawick, who had logged in to join us, and that's when we found these Dibbles, so the attack was on for more food. be the first to say, I probably didn't play that the best. I'm not the best land dino player, if you can't tell, and I made several mistakes, but you live and you learn. That night, after healing up, we found this big Stego, and the three of us, well, we were pretty confident that we could get it down. Two guys didn't pin it, but when we got the third on, our buddy jumped off. So he turned around, came, and got back on it. And that was that. Three of us was able to get this large Stego down. And like I said earlier, I'm not proud of the pin mechanic, and it's definitely not a fun or engaging way to die, because there's no counterplay. But it is what it is, and as long as it's in the game, well, allos are gonna allo. After that, the hunting in Highlands had dried up, and being at 2.4 tons, we were almost prime. So we came back north towards water access, and then that's when we found this skinned Trike. As soon as he saw all three of us, he knew what was coming. And you guys, I'm sure, know what's coming too. Another pin. And I will say, this mechanic really needs to go. As fun as it is, there's just no counterplay to it. If you're a large herbivore or carnivore and get caught by three large allos, there's basically nothing you can do. They can already bite and bleed you out fairly quickly, let alone having the ability to just pin and outright kill you. And after we all filled up on that Trike corpse, that's when I finally hit prime. At 75%, I was a full adult and was able to get my third and fourth mutations. Like I said earlier, mutations are all personal preference. For my first mutation, I had taken traumatic thrombosis, and my second one, I took congenital. For my third one, I took healing. And for my last one, well, I was really stumped. I could not decide what I wanted to take. Enhanced digestion really isn't useful at this point unless I wanted to entomb. And efficient digestion is really what I was leaning to, because you never know when you'll run out of food. As I looked through the list, I couldn't really justify taking anything else, so I always fell back to Old Faithful and ended on slower hunger drain. And I'm sure a lot of people won't agree with some of my picks. A lot of people like to take damage mutations, and that's perfectly okay. I'm not here to tell you what to take, just how I like to play and what I do. But it was honestly a good thing I took the slower hunger drain. As you can see, our hunger had gotten really low. I made it to Highland Lake, and this is where I risked trying to kill something close to the shore. And I should know better. I kill so many people here, and this guy almost got me. But hey, I got lucky and it hit the Dibble first. So I did what everybody always does to me, and I pounced on this guy's side just because, hoping that he didn't have a friend. I know, I shouldn't have done it, but I just couldn't resist it. You guys are right. It's just something that you have to do. Anyway, we moved on, and that's when we found these two Dibbles. And they gave us a pretty good fight. And this would eventually lead to our death, because unbeknownst to us, they had a big Maya friend. And he came in, and well, he kind of kicked my butt. I did not play this good at all. If we're being completely honest, I forgot about the Maya's buff that it got to its kick. And after watching Riley get kicked, I thought, hey, that looks like fun, and I'll stand here and bite and get hit just like he did. That put me on fourth screen pretty quick, so I had to disengage from the fight and go run and hide in a bush. But before completely disengaging, I wanted to try and at least help my team one more time. So what did I do? The same exact thing I did last time. Ran right into the butt of the Maya and just got nuked. He got like 3 or 4 really good hits on me. I was a breath away from death, so I really had to disengage that time. I went and immediately sat down to heal. Unfortunately though, Riley Boy went down and Seawick ran off. When I finally got my bleed healed and was healed up at least a little bit, I got this little Maya, so I could fill my food up and hopefully make it out of this entire situation alive. But I was dead wrong. As soon as I finished this kill and ate a little bit, the unthinkable would happen. As I was going over here to this bush to heal, of course, the game crashed. And for those that don't know, if you crash while running, your body continues to go. So I lost all of my stamina. And by the time I got back in, my buddies had already either logged out or left, since one of them had died. And I came back in right in front of the big Dibble. Great game. Very fun. I'm just kidding. I had a great time, and even though I died to a crash, which is very unfortunate, we still had a great run on our prime Allosaurus. We'll see you all next time. I hope you enjoyed the video, and happy hunting.